I think so.
Really?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to the Town of Cedar Lake Plan Commission of January 15, 2025 public meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Here.
Mr. Parker?
On the run, but I'm here.
Mr. Carnahan?
Here.
Mr. Hunley?
Here.
Ms. Dessauer is absent. Mr. Wilkening?
Here.
Mr. Kapora?
Present.
Mr. Oliphant?
Here.
Mr. Austin is absent. Mr. Dortmeyer?
Here.
Mr. Bungie?
Present.
Mr. Conley?
Here.
Mr. Kubiak?
Here.
Ms. Syduk is present.
All right, first order of business is election of officers. Number one, president. President is me, and we will now accept nominations for president.
I nominate Jen Kapora.
I'll second.
Third. Fourth.
No vote, huh? Motion must be made by Jim and seconded by...
Who you vote for?
Huh?
Who you vote for?
You.
Okay.
All right, roll call, please.
You got me as the second, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkening?
Yes.
Mr. Kapora?
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Number two, vice president. Current vice president is Mr. Wilkening.
I nominate Jerry Wilkening.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mr. Hunley, seconded by Mr. Parker. No discussion, roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkening?
Yes.
Mr. Kapora?
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Number three, secretary. Current secretary is Heather Deschauer.
Nominate Heather Dessauer.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Mr. Carnahan, seconded by Mr. Parker. There's no discussion, roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkening? Mr. Kapora?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkening, you said yes? Yes. Okay.
Motion carries 6-0. Board appointments. Board of Zoning Appeals. Current appointee is Mr. Hunley.
Motion to reappoint Mr. Hunley. I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Carnahan, seconded by Mr. Wilkening to appoint Mr. Hunley. Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkening?
Yes.
Mr. Kapora?
Yes, motion carries 6-0. On-site building, current appointee is Heather Deschauer.
I'll make a motion to appoint Heather Dessauer. I'll second it.
Motion by Mr. Carnahan, seconded by Mr. Wilkening. Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkening?
Yes.
Mr. Kapora?
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for your confidence. Okay, Cheryl, you don't have approval of minutes on there.
It's after, we have it after the public hearing, it's right after that.
Why are you confusing the new president?
I don't,
It usually goes
I gotta
after
keep you
public.
on your
It
toes.
goes after ordinances. Yeah,
Oh, I see it.
it goes after ordinances usually.
I see it now, okay. Never
So
mind.
I'm still keeping you on your toes.
Never mind. All right, public hearing for ordinance number 1509, zoning ordinance, chapter 17, site plan, text amendment, review of legals.
Everything is properly advertised, we have it in our office.
Thank you. Opening remarks, Mr. Steele.
Basically, as described in the last meeting, this is just an amendment to the Chapter 17 for site plan. I'm not sure if any of Plan Commission had any adjustments to be made to it. I did have some discussions with a few of the members, and then as well as with the building department. There was a side note that I discussed with Attorney Ostian about adding, for clarification with the all at the very opening, and there was going to be a side note added. Mr. Duttmeyer, I don't know, do you have that note yet? Or, because I think it was going to be contingent on it if it was not ready. And basically...
I have a draft, where's it at?
So on the very beginning where it says site plan review shall be required in all commercial and industrial, for clarification purposes, there was going to be an exception to the fact of turnkey. So like a big company comes in and buys Walgreens, or Burger King or anything like that, and it is staying the same use. Burger King is still Burger King. They would not, this wouldn't pertain to that. However, they would still have to do the normal coming into the building department, making sure everything is checked off. I believe we do have a situation with one of those already with this, with one of the items on the agenda.
The convenience store?
Yes, with, thanks, Bob. With the fact of some of the stuff we're still, building department is missing. So basically anything turnkey would not have to come in front of the Plan Commission, but it still would have to go through the normal course through the building department, making sure their parking is the same, nothing's being changed that way. I don't know, Tim, you want to add anything else to that description?
I guess my first thing I would like to change the word turnkey to, like for like business, because turnkey is just a finished building, but I mean, basically the convenience store coming in and taking over as a convenience store. There's a occupancy permit still required, the name change. If the name doesn't change on the building, then obviously there wouldn't be a sign change or anything like that, but there still would be an occupancy. There still would be a fire department permit to get that information of the owner and who's running the shop proper. If you look, John's got the paperwork from 2017 when the original convenience store was approved, and there was a list of products that they were selling there. It, didn't include fireworks, it didn't include, pipes and stuff like that we had an issue with before at old stores. Just to make sure that that same scope of, that same business is going to be continued with those same parameters, so we have something in the folder that shows that, this is continuing on and it is the same. We have most previous things that have been occupied in the last 10 years. We have files and permits just like that one that were approved. It shows the parking that was designated for that building. It shows the, like I said, the store hours, the time it was, the times they were going to be open and what they were going to be selling. So I just feel like as a part of that, the new people need to still verify that these things are the same, and possibly, this probably should have happened prior to them coming here tonight, that they could have seen that list and said, hey, we agree with that, or we want something different, you know what I mean? But I know, unfortunately, you guys came in right at the time of change, so it's like, the cart's after the horse, before the horse, and under the horse all at the same time, so.
So basically, I guess, Ryan, did you happen to see if there was a side note yet, or?
There's not, it still says something.
Now, you're talking in the Exhibit A?
Yes.
It says site plans shall be required in all commercial and industrial zoning districts in accordance with Indiana Code 3674, 1400 through 1406, inclusive as outlined hereafter. There is no
Exception or anything.
So I do know that Attorney Ostian was working on that, so I would just say that if this is an approval on this,
well, this won't be approval, this would be a recommendation.
I'm sorry. If there is a recommendation, that it would just be noted that, subject to the side note for what was just discussed with what Tim and I stated.
We're calling it a like business. We're not referring to the zoning. We're talking about the actual business.
That would be correct.
Okay.
So if it's a convenience store going into a convenience store, most recently Blue Fox, changing, over to Premier Fitness. The one that was different where Bob's Prop Shop is now solar whatever, that tint place. That is a different use. So if it's the like use, as Tim said, that would not have to come in front of here, but it would still have to go through the proper procedure.
Essentially a name change.
Name change, stuff like that. Most recent also, Bo's Hot Dog went from a basic, realty / office, to a restaurant. So yes, it's approved zoning, however, different use. So different use, different parking flow, and all that other stuff that needs to come in front of this board.
Okay.
Basically, it'll just be an exception for people taking over existing businesses or same use of the same structure.
So should
We'll
we,
still check off on.
should we wait and make a recommendation after the changes have been made?
For,
Can we make a recommendation especially for approval?
Contingent on the approval?
contingent on the changes, good enough, I would think.
Ryan, is that all right?
You can, it's up to you guys if you wanna see what the language actually is, or if the explanation's sufficient. Again, this is a recommendation, so the town council is the ultimate decision maker,
Make
whether
the
or not the
final
ordinance be
decision.
enacted.
All right, we'll decide that in a little bit. Reading of ordinance number 1509, is that by title only or total ordinance?
And read it by title only, unless you want to.
No, it doesn't say here, I'm just trying to clarify.
And I believe it is a one reading, right, Mr. Goodmeyer?
Correct.
Would you do that, Mr. Steele?
I sure can, well, yes. Town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana, ordinance number,
1509.
1509. An ordinance reclassifying certain lands in the town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana, for zoning purposes and amending town zoning ordinance number 1402, being the zoning ordinance of the town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana, passed and adopted by the town council of the town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana, the first day of March 2022, and all amendments passed subsequent thereto.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna open it up for, remonstrators. Are there any remonstrators for or against this ordinance?
And just to be clear, this is the opening of the public hearing.
Okay, this is opening of the public hearing, calling for remonstrators for or against.
There's nobody online.
Second call, for or against. Final call. Close the hearing now. Right?
Yes.
Demonstration is closed. Plan commission discussion. I would think that, we can go ahead and send a recommendation on to the town council with contingency, like Mr. Thiel said, turnkey operation.
Jerry said business instead of use.
Like use,
Like for like, I think Tim used.
yeah, like, it would be like use, John, that way, as Tim stated, turnkey would be just like white box.
Right, I was,
I guess, I mean, just reading the section A, I mean, it seems to me that there should be the word occupy somewhere in that scope of, you know, when you read that first paragraph there. I mean, it says, at any time a property owner seeks to apply for approval to begin new construction or modify an existing structure. The
Or
property
occupy an existing structure, that's what you're saying?
I guess, I think it should say to modify or occupy.
Right,
Well,
I agree.
But add,
you're not making a distinction.
no, but Tim, to correct you though, this is just for site plan use. This kinda does not pertain to the convenience store issue where it would not go in front of plan commission.
Right, but what if, the Bose or whatever was applying for their permit and they're not going to modify the building, they're just applying for an occupancy?
Different use.
Where is that shown in this language?
That was what we just discussed, where all are required to go through, all commercial.
No, I understand that,
Right, except.
I mean, so it shouldn't say.
Accepting
It
use.
seems to me like occupy should be, if you're coming in for a business occupation. I mean, to me, I guess reading this, if I was just coming into to get occupancy for an existing building, I wouldn't understand why I needed to come. I guess the all does, but the occupy, adding the occupy to me makes it pretty clear, or more clear in my.
Can I add that
Because
in
it doesn't-
section A?
Huh?
Can I add that in section A with approval, begin new construction or modify an existing structure, you can put occupy in there too.
That's what Tim's saying, occupy needs to be in there
You
somewhere,
can throw that in section A.
because it doesn't say I can't.
Well, just-
Occupy says you can't.
I mean, if you handed this to me and I'm reading it and why I need to come here for, if I'm just gonna be moving into this building, if it said that on there and I was applying for an occupancy, then it would be more clear in my eye, but reading that, if I'm not gonna be, modifying the building, and I get that you're saying that the first part says, well, it's just an observation, that's all. It's just, when you read it, it would make sense for that to include that.
So if you say that you wanna add occupy under section A, now you're actually telling them they need a site plan.
Yes.
And the thing is, if you make the addendum there on the first statement, saying accepting similar or like use, now people that come in, they don't have to have a comprehensive site plan. But if you leave it under section A, you are going to have a comprehensive site plan. Because you're making no exception for them. So it's, what are we doing here? Are we making an exception, or are we not making an exception?
For a like building.
For like building use.
That's why it needs to stay, I feel, before section A, in that side note. And that was the discussion that was with Mr. Austin.
I mean, me personally, I get having to update the Knox box keys and the ownership and who to contact if there's a break-in or a fire or something of that nature. But if somebody's selling a business that is already in operation,
Should be able to be switched over.
yeah, it should just automatically, with those contingencies.
Which
Unfortunately, the way
still
it's
go in
written-
front of the would still go into the building department though, with
To
the,
update the information.
absolutely.
Yeah, and that makes sense, that should happen in other ways. Well, like what these gentlemen are doing in the back, with just buying this business and running it as it's been run, other than updating the information, they shouldn't have to go through everything again. The Bozo's Hot Dogs thing, just to use that
Different.
for an example, that's a completely different deal. The place was closed up for more than 6 months, and it was a completely different use.
Right.
It was
It's not a like use.
But somewhere in here, we need something that says we've gotta have information on the new owner and stuff, like, in case.
I get it.
That's at the beginning though, wouldn't, Tim, so if somebody came in, they would have initially come up to the building department, that person then would go and, see Terry, and if it is a like use, same use, owner change, all of that stuff would be through the application process and within the building department, and does not require, Terry giving them instruction to come in front of this, plan commission.
You understand where we're trying to get?
Yeah, you're trying to avoid the situation that we're gonna have here in a little bit.
I have a question too. They're not gonna be the owner of the building, they're just gonna be the tenant.
Correct.
The owner of the business.
Yeah.
It could be either or.
Yeah. But they won't have nothing to do with the building, because it's rent it.
You have a suggestion for language that we can hammer out, like, real quick here, to make that work?
I don't even know if Attorney Austin's drafted it, he might already have it. I talked to him.
Yeah, I was under the
afternoon.
impression that he was gonna, but then I just learned, like, at 4:30, he was not gonna be here, so, we were discussing other things.
Could we make a motion contingent on legal review?
And we'll
Will that
have,
cover it?
as it was
I mean,
stated,
that's,
I don't know, isn't that how we got kind of in this quagmire to begin with, is that
Legal review?
we presented certain things and then after review, they were tweaked and they're not clear.
So, and I think that's the reason for going through this big exercise, is to work on clarity. And obviously, it sounds like,
There seems to be some hang-ups over what the language should be, though, I guess is my...
Yeah, and I don't think there's really an urgency that it would have to be this, you know, if the plan commission does not feel comfortable without actually seeing that, I completely understand. And I did talk with Dave, you know, that if it was a simple one that he had, that you guys can see, you know, we do have the, you know, Mr. Connolly here now, we're all in an understanding on what has to happen. So I don't feel it's a bad thing if it were to be deferred to the next meeting, if you guys felt comfortable. I don't know what, you know, Attorney Dittmeyer's thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to see the language and iron that out, then that makes the most sense. If you're concerned that, as Mr. Bungie pointed out, there'll be difficulties or issues as to what the language should say or be, then the deferral makes the most sense until you have some draft language in there and you can ferret that out at the next meeting.
And shouldn't we, make a motion to continue the public hearing?
Yeah, if that's the ultimate decision, yes.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to continue the public hearing
I'll
to the
second it.
February 19th meeting.
And that's not the work session?
No, the regular meeting.
Regular meeting. I got a motion by Mr. Carnahan to defer this ordinance until February 19th, public meeting, seconded by Mr. Wilkening. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
No.
Mr. Wilkening?
Yes.
Mr. Capora?
Yes, motion carries 5-1. Okay. September 15th, 2024 minutes, they have been distributed. If there are no corrections, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
A second. Is that you, Greg?
Yes.
And second was, motion made by Mr. Parker, second by Mr. Becker. Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkening?
Yes.
Mr. Capora?
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Old business, Cedar Lake Convenience Store concept site. Owner petitioner Tala Abu Ali, 9841 South Ridgeland Avenue, Apartment 3E, Oak Lawn, Illinois, 60453, vicinity of 14424 Moore Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana, 46303. With what you were talking about earlier, Tim, do they still have to be here? Do we still have to approve this?
Yes, because the new revisions aren't approved as of yet, so just or do you think, Rich, it's up to you guys?
Well, if the thing was deferred in the way the direction's going with this, I feel that it would be no, because with the revision changes, this would all be handled internally within the building department.
Yeah, because I don't wanna run them around and delay them and
Exactly.
nothing at.
Exactly.
Can you give them the copy of what was approved, and just so they can look at that, when they come in here, they can confirm that they're selling the same thing and that they're continuing that same parking and,
Give them this,
yeah,
the whole thing?
yeah.
I would like them to,
Yeah.
us to approve them, so there's no, them thinking that they can't operate, and if somebody tries to stop them.
So there's a couple of issues. Number one, if you were to follow that path and say the ordinance is going to be approved, this would have to be deferred, or they would have to withdraw their application. So that kicks it to February 19th. February 19th is only a recommendation to the town council. You still have to wait for the town council to ultimately enact the ordinance. So if you're talking about delays, you've just kicked the can down the road at least 45 to 60 days from them actually accomplishing what they want to accomplish. So as it stands right now, they have filed an application for the site plan pursuant to the ordinance as it exists today. You guys can hear it and approve it or not approve it, or if they wanted to follow the coattails of the new revisions, they can withdraw their application and they can wait until that ordinance is enacted, but they have to know that that won't be for, at a minimum, 45 to 60 days.
And they can't operate a business until that's approved.
Pursuant to the ordinance as it stands right now,
Do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Do it now?
Yep.
Yeah. Could you please come up to the podium here, please? One representative or everybody, whoever wants to do it. And I should state your name and address for the records.
My name is Ayman, and address 9099 Forest Drive, Hickory Hills, Illinois. And Cloud is the owner.
Okay.
Your new address?
Give your name and address too, if he's in the street. Or you give his name and address.
Okay. His name is Bilal Abu Ali, 9841 Ridgeland Avenue, apartment 3, Illinois 60453.
Okay. Do you understand what was going on a little minute ago? Okay. All right. So what you plan to do is just take over the business that was there, that was Jay's Convenience Store, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And you're not changing anything inside, you're not doing anything different,
Yes, sir.
correct?
Yep.
All right. What we were talking about is that the process has been, and it's gonna be tweaked a little bit more in the future, is you have to go into the building department before you even wind up over here and talk to them. And then they go over what you have to do, or what you need, or what have you. Like, this is what was approved for Jay's. I'm gonna give you this copy.
Okay.
Okay, and with taking it over, you're just taking the business over and
Right.
and you're gonna call it, Cedar Lake Convenient?
Yep.
Okay, all right. And in here, they have a list of things that they would sell, and, we're trying to keep it. One time we had an instance where we had a store that was selling bongs and all kinds of stuff that we don't care to have in this community. This list, I'm gonna read through it briefly. Lottery tickets, tobacco products, no vaping products, soda, chips, snacks, candy, coffee, energy drinks, bottled water, ice, donuts, miscellaneous small refrigerated food, dairy products, miscellaneous soft food products, bread items, miscellaneous over-the-counter medicine, Tylenol as so, miscellaneous personal items, miscellaneous household products, small automotive section, bait, tackle, custom metal art signs. And like I say, we're gonna give you this so you can take it back and peruse it. You're still gonna have to go into the building department, regardless of what the outcome here is, and talk to, Mr. Conley there. And, he'll go over this with you and get you going in the right direction. We don't wanna when do you anticipate to open up?
As soon as we give us the approval.
As soon as you got the okay from us, right?
Mhm.
Y'all haven't been open lately, and that's because of this, right?
Exactly, yeah, we closed it
It's
down
been
because
closed.
we don't have the license, that's why. The
Couple
approval.
weeks been closed? Couple weeks it's been closed? Yeah.
And we are home.
Yeah. You guys have nothing to do with the apartments?
Apartment.
No,
Apartments in the building? You're only renting the store space?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have any other questions?
You're gonna go to the engineer and,
Down, I'll see what, yeah, okay.
and the building.
I got one question. Is there anything on that list anything other than what was on that list that you're gonna be looking to be selling there, that you would add to that list by listening to it? Since now would be the time to ask if that would be okay to add to the existing list since you're getting an approval. Because, you know what I mean, so I know you just listened to it, but if you have anything that you're thinking.
It's not gonna be a tobacco or vaping, we're gonna remove that, we're not gonna, It's just gonna be a grocery store with no tobacco license.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you can, yeah, all right.
No, I'm just asking if there's anything that you were thinking of selling there that you did not hear on that list, now would be the
no.
time to bring it up.
It's
Okay.
gonna be the way it is, we're
Okay.
not adding anything.
Just for clarification, I just thought
Yeah.
now's the time, if
Okay, yeah, no
you were thinking something and that
No.
wasn't on the list,
No.
now's the time to ask, okay?
Okay, is there any other discussions?
No fireworks.
No fireworks.
If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Just one quick, hours of operation, are they going to stay similar to what they were in the past? Same?
The hours? is that what you're-
Hours?
Yeah. The hours and days are gonna stay pretty, basically the same.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Don't have no link.
Okay.
I was just answering. your
Oh,
question.
okay. Sidebar.
Sidebar, sorry.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve
As it exists.
as it exists right now, with no changes, any changes have to be made to the building department.
I'll second.
Motion made by Mr. Hundley to approve this petitioner's request to open a convenience store. That was that is their existing, to sell exactly what they were selling in it. No changes, hours of operation or what have you. And second by Mr. Parker. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hundley?
Yes.
Mr. Wolfgang?
Yes.
Mr. Capora?
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Now, I'm gonna give you this. You need to come in, you can have this. And you can go over that and see what all is written in there. And then you need to come in and talk to Mr. Conley over there. Now, when's a good time? Should I give you a call tomorrow?
First, we'll
Call-
schedule it, and you just come on in, but we're pretty quick with that.
Call tomorrow and ask for the building department, Mr. Conley, and then set up a meeting, and then, once you get cleared through him, and I would say he's ready to go, right?
Yeah, they just need to get a building permit and, an occupancy permit filled out, a sign, with their sign
Okay.
permit, and then also they'll have to get their fire department permit, so that's all updated.
So Mr. Conley will go over,
Suppression, so you gotta have to.
yeah, Mr. Conley will go over all that with you and point you in the right direction so you can get your store running. up
Okay.
and running, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
All right, guys, thank you.
Number 2, Harvest Creek Performance Plat Extension for 1 year. Owner petitioner, Diamond Peak Group LLC, 1313 White Oak Drive, Crown Point, Indiana, 46307. Vicinity of 9210 West 155th, Cedar Lake, Indiana. Petitioner is requesting a 1-year extension for the preliminary plat for Harvest Creek. Shoot.
Hello, Michael Herbers with Diamond Peak Group, 1313 White Hawk Drive. As Mr. Kapora mentioned, we are here requesting a 1-year extension for our primary plat for Harvest Creek located at the northeast corner of 155th and Parish there. It's set to expire February 15th, so we are looking to extend it to February 15th of 2026.
Don, you got any comments?
No, sir.
Building Department?
Nothing.
Commissioners?
No, sir.
Then I'll entertain a motion to extend this, preliminary plat extension to February 15th.
I make that motion.
I'll second. Motion made by Mr. Carnahan to extend this plat to February 15th, 2026, seconded by Mr. Becker. Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hundley?
Yes.
Mr. Wolfgang?
Yes.
Mr. Capora?
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Okay.
Thank you.
Good luck. Number 3, 2026 NIPSCO Cedar Lake Mobile Substation Storm Master and Erosion Control Plan. Owner petitioner, Northern Public Service Company, 801 East 86th Avenue, Maryville, Indiana, 46410, vicinity of 6816 West 133rd Avenue, Cedar Lake. Petitioner is requesting site plan approval for NIPSCO Mobile Substation. Do we have anybody here? Online?
Seeking a deferral. With the 1-week turnaround, they weren't gonna address all of our comments. So they were told that they didn't have to come today.
Deferral?
Yeah.
Request for deferral, I have a motion.
I'll make a motion to defer that item.
I'll second. We're deferred to the next, February,
Whatever is in the meetings.
whatever it is, okay.
Meeting or the work session?
Meeting, meeting,
Work session.
work session?
Yep.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mr. Wolfgang?
Yes.
Mr. Kapur?
Yes, motion carries 6-0. New business, Summer Winds, commercial maintenance letter of credit to expire January 21st, 2025, in the amount of $25,752.60. No petitioner?
Mr. Capuro?
Yes.
I was tasked with giving you the information that we have an extension in-house, in hand, and they have the new expiration date for the maintenance letter of credit is 4/25/25.
Okay, yeah, I got that email today too, so. Okay, and I guess we don't need to. 4/25 Well, engineer, you got anything to say? Don?
No, I think we can get everything tackled by then.
Building department? Good?
Good, we're good.
Commissioners, good?
Yes.
I need a motion to accept the petitioner's maintenance letter of credit extension to 4/25/25. So. Motion by Mr. Becker,
I'll second it.
second by Mr. Wolfgang. Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mr. Wolfgang?
Yes.
Mr. Kapur?
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Update items. Brooker, Cedar View, Domino's, performance letter of credit to expire on February 15, 2025, in the amount of $14,047.
We issued our as-built review and field inspection letter on the 9th of January. Some of these items are gonna be weather dependent, so my guess is I'll either have to extend it, probably can reduce it down to the maximum, but most likely have to extend. The issue is that it expires on February 15th, which is prior to your next public meeting. So, probably need to set a poll date or have a special public meeting on the 5th.
I just assume set a full date right now. What do you suggest, how many days do we need prior to?
Probably the 10th, gives you a full business week. And then we'll be in coordination to have him do an extension in order to get that stuff finished up when the weather permits.
Do you have a proposed reduced amount, or no? Or is it the same 14,000?
I mean, based on the comments, you probably can reduce it down to full. Should be 25% of what it's sitting at now. That amount would be, do some quick math,
3513.
$3,511.75.
So you're saying it can be reduced down to $35,1175 now, or?
He can extend it at that amount. So it can reduce down to the full amount. The only outstanding items in the letter that need to be addressed are some signs that don't meet code. One manhole wasn't constructed, just kinda gotta figure out why if it wasn't picked up on the as-built. And then some striping, which can't be done in this weather, so.
Said a manhole wasn't constructed?
Yeah, there's a clarification, didn't show up on the manhole, it didn't show up on the as-built. The manhole was put there primarily because there's a light right next to the inlet they tapped into in Lakeshore Drive. And it was just a turning structure more than anything. So it wasn't really taking any drainage, just had to get around that pole foundation. So it didn't show up in the as-built, it's just a question about why it wasn't constructed. Because they also have a curb turnout that wasn't part of their plan that's kind of directed to where that manhole should be, so.
And $3,500, you're good with that?
It was never intended to take drainage. It was only meant to be a turning structure.
Okay, well, meant to be and what was on paper are two different things.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird how they avoided doing it, but it's more of a clarification note on there. So, I mean, if you want to throw it up to,
I think you have some more discovery to do.
I think the 50% would be more in line. I agree with you, James, if you gotta put a manhole, or, I don't know.
yeah, manhole's $4,000, so.
It might be in it, just not on the paper, we don't know that.
So that's what it is. So it'd be.
But let's leave it where it is.
Leave it where it's at?
Leave it where it's at, and when you get it all sorted out, then, I mean, you can reduce it anytime.
Wanna make sure there's plenty of money there to do it if it's necessary.
Plenty of money.
Gotcha.
You can never not have plenty of money.
So you're suggesting leaving it at 14,470?
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so the only thing on the motion here would be the pull date of February 10th, 2025.
Yep.
Yes.
And I would just direct Jeff's office to notify Mr. Brooker about that date.
Okay, any other discussion?
And there'll be do you have an explanation, to give to Mr. Brooker?
Tell him his letter of credit's expiring on February 15th. He still has outstanding items in that. So unless you can get those done prior to the expiration date, he needs to extend it. So I know bare minimum you can't do striping now in this weather. So he's not going to be able to complete it all. So he's going to have to extend it for 3 months is fine probably.
The surface is what I need to.
Surface isn't part of the letter of credit though.
Right, the striping in the middle,
Yeah.
by the way, I got you.
So who's gonna contact Mr. Booker?
Either Kirsten or myself or somebody in my office as instructed.
All right. Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. We, keep the money for Cedar View, the Domino's property, $14,047, and full date be set to February 10th, 2025.
I have a motion by Mr. Wilkenning, full date of February 10th, 2025, second.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Parker.
No, that's only just if they don't, we're only gonna pull it if they don't get an extension, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct, right.
Just want to clarify.
Right, because we meet after the pull date.
Right.
I mean, after the expiration date.
And Don, what date did you recommend? April, push it back to April?
Yeah, he can do it. If he does a 3-month extension, it should be plenty of time.
3 months from now, so that would be,
Puts it into May. It'd be May 15th.
okay, you guys are comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But we don't have to put that, oh, yes.
3 month minimum, you can
Yeah.
tell.
Okay, we, all set? Roll call, please. Who's second?
I did.
Mr. Parker did. Write it down. Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkening?
Yes.
Mr. Kapura?
Yes, motion carries 6-0.
All right, Summer Winds Unit 1, this one is at its maximum reduction of 25%, the 244,187.85 number. This will have to be extended, expires on the same date as the Cedar View one, so you're going to have a similar motion of a pull date for February 10th.
That's a letter sent out too, right?
That has an existing letter that's been outstanding since January of last year. Hasn't changed.
Okay, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to pull, performance letter of credit by February 10th, 2024, 25.
25. Motion made by Mr. Becker,
I'll second it.
second by Mr. Wilkening. Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkening?
Yes.
Mr. Sephora?
Yes, motion carries 6-0.
Has anybody contacted them that this was expired on, or is it like the last one?
Same thing. You need to contact Dinga. Tim,
You take care of that?
let him know. 2 and 3 were recently extended. This is just kind of right a couple months behind it.
Rose Garden. State Unit 3, performance letter of credit to expire on February 22nd, 2025, in the amount of $1,913,079.85.
So this one expires after your next meeting, but only 2 business days after. So I don't know if you want to let this ride that they will extend again, or if you want to set a pull date of the 17th. That'll give you the same exact time as you had in the other 2.
Is he on Zoom?
He's not. He only comes to the work sessions, I believe. I mean, they seem to be clockwork resubmitting these, but this one I think had the 3 months extension, so that's why it's coming back around so quick.
Well,
so he's got all of our comments now. Public Works needs to get out there and do utility inspections, so he's got probably a lot of stuff to finish still.
Well, then either he needs to extend it, or we need to set a pull date. And,
I mean, I would recommend just to give the attorneys enough time to set a pull date for the 17th.
17th?
Yep, that gives them 5 business days again. And I'll reach out to Tom McSherry, let him know.
Okay, I'll need a motion to approve a pool date of 2/17/2025 for Rose Gardens Estates Unit 3 in the amount of $1,913,079.85.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Wilkening.
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Becker. Roll call, please.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Mr. Carnahan?
Yes.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilkening?
Yes.
Mr. Sephora?
Yes, motion carries 6-0. Public comment? Public comment?
Nobody online.
Last call, public comment? Comments closed. Next, meeting is Plan Commission Work Session, February 5th, 2025, at 6 p.m. We're adjourned at 7:48.